Are you part of the herd? Supreme Leader Joe wants you to be part of the herd. Hey everybody, I'm Bill, the Hill Country Prepper. I want you to be informed so that you can be prepared. You guys may remember hearing the stories after World War II where they were finding these little pockets of Japanese soldiers, ones and twos, usually soldiers that were by themselves that didn't get the information that Japan had surrendered. Now these soldiers would be on these little bitty islands and they would be surviving, living in caves, having little huts set up, little camps, and they were still fighting the war years and years after it was over. They refused to give up the fight because they had not heard from the emperor that the war was over. So in their minds, they were convinced that the war was still on and they were still fighting. And there were a lot of these. These were documented cases where they would find these soldiers and have to work to convince them that the war was over and Japan had surrendered and try to bring them back into civilization. I think we're seeing something similar with people that refuse to give up the fight and continue to wear a mask. Now, I was driving across the University of Texas campus yesterday, and of course school is out, classes have completed, and so the campus was largely empty. However, I did stop for a gentleman to cross the street in a crosswalk who was wearing a mask. Now, it was warm outside, it was humid, it was a beautiful day, and so I stopped, and this guy's crossing, and I'm watching him, and he's wearing this big, heavy cotton mask. Not a surgical mask, but a big, heavy cotton mask. And I looked around, and I didn't see anybody on campus. And I could see a good 100 yards in most all directions. And there was nobody. And here's this guy out in the open on a beautiful day wearing a heavy cotton cloth over his face. And I just don't understand that. Now, this gentleman was Hispanic. He probably could use to lose about 50 or more pounds. I suspect he was probably diabetic, probably on a prescription metformin. Most likely a high-risk individual, and maybe that's why he was wearing it. But if I had to wear a mask, I would do so when I was inside if it was required, but I'm sure not going to wear it when I'm outside by myself, not around anybody else on a beautiful day, because I want to breathe some fresh air. I think the mentality is that they just refuse to give up. They refuse to believe that the war is coming to an end and that it's over. It's like the Japanese soldier that's holed up in the cave on some little Pacific island. He refuses to give up because Supreme Leader Joe wants them to still be part of the herd, and they still want them to follow the edicts of the Socialist Left Party. It's a disease, folks. You see it everywhere you go. I still see people driving in their cars by themselves wearing a mask. I don't understand that. I really don't. Hey, if you guys are getting information out of this video, why don't you give it a thumbs up and a like? And if you're not a subscriber yet, why not? Subscribe right now. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll get notified each and every time I upload some new content. So do that right now. Guys, don't be part of the herd. Use your brain. Do what you know is best for you. Pay attention to what's going on. Make smart decisions that are right for you and your family. Remember this story about the Japanese soldier that refused to give up the fight. Think about that when you see these people, and it might give you a little bit more insight of what their mentality is. They just refuse to give up the fight. Just my thoughts, Hill Country Prepper. You guys have a blessed day. Thanks.